I get so many people that are always asking me to do a full video on my entire makeup routine. This is definitely going to take longer than one video, so this will have to be 2, maybe even 3 parts, but we're going to try. We're going to go through every product I use in the exact order. I'm going to do all the blending on camera, everything. So if you've been wanting to see how this turns into Grace, then follow along. The only thing I've done right now is shaved. I do that literally every time that I do this because my hair grows very quickly. So that's the only thing I've done so far. So first I start out with a moisturizer, any kind of neutral moisturizer, just a little bit. And this kind of hydrates the skin. Also puts a little barrier between your skin and the makeup. It's just good practice to use a moisturizer. When I first was getting started with this, I went into Ulta, and one of the ladies told me the key to good makeup is good skin prep. So definitely got to prep the skin. So that's what I do first. After that, always this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is the second step in my routine. I'll take about 3 to 4 pumps and put it around the face and then just rub it all in. Now this stuff is not for everyone. My wife hates it. She cannot stand it. It's very sticky because it's meant to really grab your makeup and hold on to it so it doesn't move, it won't run off, and it does just that, but it is very sticky. So if you don't like having heavy stuff on your face or noticeable stuff, probably would be best to stick with a different primer, but this one's good. So next step that I do is my color corrector. As you can see, even though I shave, I still have pretty dark facial hair that comes through. So I use this e.l.f. color corrector. There's an orange one to correct like the more blue and gray shadows, and there's also a green one that kind of helps with any redness that you're trying to correct. But I always use the orange one because I'm only using it for dark facial hair. So I'll just do that and put it right around the beard area. I don't really feel the need to go up that far because all of my wigs have a lot of hair and it kind of covers this area. So as long as I get kind of my top lip and then this that bottom area, then I'm good. All right, now after you let that sit on there for a while, now you want to blend it in. This I always use a blender sponge. You don't want to soak up all the color. You want it to stay orange because that's what it's doing. It's correcting the color behind it. So you really want it to be orange, and don't worry, it'll cover up. A lot of people say they have issues with their color correcting mixing into their foundation, but my way around that is after I blend it out, I'll go ahead and set it with a finishing powder. So I use the NYX. This is the first finishing powder I bought, and I like it. It works good. I'm sure there's other ones out there that work great or better, but this is just the first one that I got, and it's always worked. So I'll go ahead and I'll set all that. That way, once I do my other concealer and foundation on top of it, it's not going to blend and mix it. So after the color correcting is the concealer. So I will take, I love the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I'll take this one and conceal that same area. And this will just help hide that orange while still keeping it underneath doing what it's supposed to do. And also put a little bit under the eyes. And anywhere else I might have little blemishes. And then you don't want to just go ahead and blend all this out. You want to let it sit on, dry a little bit. That way there's a lot of coverage when you do blend it out. While it's still all wet, if you were to take your sponge and start rubbing at it, you're going to take a lot of it off. So we're going to leave this on just for a little bit and then blend it out. All right, so now we're going to start blending. We're going to take that same blender brush and just start patting. You don't want to drag it on the skin. You just want to pat. And again, you're not trying to take up a lot of color. You're just trying to spread it out, get rid of any kind of hard lines or clumps, even it out. See, now we got that orange covered. It's packed underneath this. We haven't even done our foundation yet. That way, once the foundation goes on, then all of that really heavy facial hair goes away a lot. I still notice it a little bit, but it does help a lot. When I don't use the color correcting and then a concealer on top and then the foundation, I can definitely notice that dark facial hair. So after that, I do use foundation next. I use a NARS foundation. This one is running out, but I should have enough to do this. So then I'll take that same blender sponge, and I'll just start patting that on. This foundation is very nice. I know some makeup creators on here will, I've heard them say that it's their favorite foundation, the best one ever. When I went to Ulta to kind of figure out my shade and get some stuff to get started, I had a lady just raving about this one, this NARS foundation. She said that she puts it on all of her brides for wedding days, and it holds up really, really well. Definitely recommended it. It's full coverage, so if you're trying to do a completely full glam face, this stuff is really nice. It is a little pricey. For one thing of it is $50, but it does last a good bit, and I mean it really, really does stay on as long as you need it to. As long as you do the skin prep and finishing powder to set everything in, then it'll definitely stay on there. So after I blend it all with a sponge, I will go back in with a brush and just kind of even it out. Sometimes you can see little circular lines from the sponge. So I usually go with a brush and just kind of smooth things out. All right, and that is the foundation. So next, contouring. I use this SheGlam. I don't think it says what shade it is. It might, Golden Sun. So this SheGlam contouring in Golden Sun. Now, I always do my contour right about here. I start at the beginning. A lot of people do contour in a lot of different ways. I start in the beginning, bring it all the way down here. But that kind of made my mainly jawline stick out. So I'm just going to focus on contouring up here, so I can highlight that cheekbone instead of kind of bring out my jawline. So again, like that. I'll also contour down here. Now this, once you add a little darkness down here, really makes your jawline, your face kind of tapered, really clean. Gets rid of my little bit of a double chin. Then I'll also go ahead and contour a little around here. And lastly is the nose. Now I know there's a better way to do this, but I seem to do it just fine. I usually like to go for a button nose, so I'll always contour right the bottom, right on top of the nose, and I'll leave this spot open, and it makes it look more like a button nose. So next I'll blend. I don't usually wait for this stuff to dry. It's a little bit harder to blend when you do. So I'll go right into it with an angled brush that looks like this. And I'll just start tapping and pulling it up. See, and you're just highlighting that cheekbone right there and giving it some definition. All right, the same thing up here. Up here, I will kind of rub and go in circles just because I want to spread it out a little bit more. When I'm doing the contouring on my cheeks, I want to keep it in a certain spot, but that's all the time I have for this video, so follow along for part 2 to see the rest of this look.